I'm not even sure I remember how to do these things. What was my intro again? Faces, smiling. I'm Paul Dillon. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I never intended to take this long of a hiatus from YouTube. It's been about 3 weeks. It's been about 3 weeks since my last upload. Feels kind of weird. Truth be told, I actually did upload a video. I uploaded a video of, why is that making so much noise? I uploaded a video of Cody and my, his and I, my and his, Cody and his, Paul and his. What? Our backpacking trip above North Lake when we got altitude sickness and got all these really cool time lapses and all these really cool stills. For whatever reason, YouTube decided to upload that video in 480p, so it was very pixelated and it looked like poop, so I deleted it. When I went to re-upload it, turns out that I didn't back it up. Single-handedly to date, the only video that I didn't actually back up, so, well, I missed an upload. But I'm back. I've had a lot of things going on, like filming my first wedding, which is what we're gonna dive into today. I made a ton of mistakes, but as I made those mistakes, as I was thumbing through the footage at the very end, making those mistakes while I was editing the video, I was taking notes. I was making notes to try to correct all my mistakes. And then it dawned on me, there might be people like myself who want to get into wedding videography or who have never shot a wedding before and don't really know what to expect. So these tips are in no particular order. I'm kind of just gonna go through the list and tell you all the things all the mistakes that I made, and hopefully this helps you in the long run. Tip number one is going to be mic everything. Use a mic. If you plan on getting into wedding videography, you need microphones, more than just the Rode mic that goes on top of the camera. Cody was doing the photography for the wedding, which means I got to use his other camera for filming. I had one set up on the tripod to do certain still footage, and then I was kind of roaming around with the gimbal, but I forgot to put the mic on the tripod and on my gimbal. Thankfully, we mic'd up the groom, so I was able to catch the vows and like the entire ceremony part. Otherwise, I would have no audio to lay over. Even if you don't use it, it's nice to have. So tip number one, mic everything. Tip number two, don't be afraid to ask. This was probably the biggest mistake that I made. I was really nervous because it was my first wedding and I wanted everything to go well. I wasn't asking to retake a shot, or I didn't ask them to do certain things. Thankfully, Cody has much more experience in this field than I do, so he was able to kind of set them up to do certain shots for photography, and I was able to be there and film that. But there was a lot of times where I wanted them to do something specific and they were looking directly in the camera. I mean, let's face it, anytime someone's got a camera on you, you tend to look directly into the camera. But there were certain shots where I wanted them to kind of look past the camera or look this way and walk past me. They're not intuitively gonna know that unless you tell them. So tip number two, don't be afraid to ask. Tip number three wasn't really a mistake because we actually did it, but I think it's important to note. Get there early. This wedding was at a private clubhouse, so we weren't able to get there days before or weeks before to see how the venue was, see how big it was, what our limitations were with sound and lighting. So we got there about an hour and a half to 2 hours early. This gave us the ability to scope out our spot for the first look, scope out spots for Cody to get some photography, scope out maybe areas of the reception that were gonna be restricted by light. We were able to also connect with the DJ and find out that they brought their own lighting, which was good. So get there early if you can. It helps plan out all the shots, especially for limitation. Tip number 4, water. Drink lots of water. You know, it's surprising to me that like when we're thirsty, we drink water. But at a wedding, you're running around so much. We're doing so much. We're trying to capture this moment. We have to be over here. We have to be in multiple places at one time. It's really easy to forget about water. If you're in a restaurant, know where the places are that you can easily get water, have some water stashed away somewhere. I tend to bring a Hydro Hask? That's not a thing. I tend to bring my 64 ounce hydro flask with me and I stash it somewhere so I always know that I have water. But paying attention to where the bar is or where the place that you can get water is, because you're running around so much, it's so easy to miss. Drink lots of water, stay hydrated. Tip number 5 is going to be keep a schedule. Whether it's the wedding planner, bride, the groom, whoever it may be, there is a planned schedule for that wedding somewhere. If you can get a copy of it, that'd be great. Keeping a schedule is a good idea. It not only helps the bride and groom stay on track, but it helps you stay on track. The one thing I noticed when we were doing the first look, we did a couple takes of the first look, just a few angles. We were actually 15 minutes late to the grand entrance. Thankfully, when we beelined it back to the reception, there was a few people running late anyways, so it worked out. But however, it could have caused a big delay in things. So keeping schedule, staying on track is very important. And that's it. Those are the tips. Those are the things I learned. I made a lot of mistakes, but within each mistake is an opportunity to grow, to get better for the next time. Like I said earlier, came home, I started editing this video, I started writing notes as I saw those mistakes being made. I made notes for the next time. If you're interested in wedding photography or wedding videography, just do it. Have fun, get out there, push yourself, and remember, 1% better every day.